In this video, we're going to talk about the magic of the moon. So, for those of you that are new here, welcome. My name is Celine. I help empaths or empower empaths on their spiritual and healing journey. So, as I say, today we are going to talk about the moon. So, the moon, as you will be aware, everyone's aware, I think, governs the tides. But it's not only known for that, it's also a major part in our spiritual journey and our healing path. It's what's known as the shadow. It's also a divine feminine energy, so it very much governs our divine feminine. And that's not necessarily a gender thing, although on a gender basis, of course, a lot of women will have cycles within the moon, either having their menstrual falling on the new moon or on the full moon. And there's different meanings for that, which we will go into in other videos. So it's a very feminine energy, as I say. And we're kind of kept away as a collective from that feminine energy because the feminine energy is what we need. And it's what's sort of coming back now with this great awakening is the feminine aspect of that. So we find our feminine in the dark, in the shadows, and we kind of as we grow up, we learn to kind of be scared of the shadows and what they might hold. Also, going internally, obviously our traumas are held within the shadows. There might be part of ourselves that over the years we've learned not to like, or we've been told not to like by other people. And we kind of start repressing those things and they kind of become outside of us. And the main aspect with healing is integrating those things back in and realizing that the shadow isn't bad. It's just about bringing it back into balance with our light side because we all hold a light and a dark side. We're bringing that into balance and healing those traumas that are in that shadow and also bringing in the aspects of us that we didn't like because they are still parts of us. And a lot of times we're taught not to like these things, but we're taught by the people that we've kind of had to express those emotions or behaviors too as a protection method. So that might be, in a narcissist or dynamic or, any other form of abuse that you've grown up with or experienced during your adult life. So in my instance, a lot of my shadow was standing up for myself, not conforming to the norms that were around me. So if you've watched any of my videos or you know anything about me, you'll know I grew up in an Illuminati cult. I had to recover from SRA and mind control and trafficking, and I managed to escape that a few years ago. And I've been on my healing and spiritual journey ever since. So I've realized that a lot of those aspects that I'd shut down about myself, that I thought I labeled my bitch side, were actually it was my protection. It was the parts of me that wouldn't let people walk all over me, that wouldn't conform to things that I deemed as bad, such as harming children and trafficking. And because of that, I was persecuted by the cult my entire life. And I was made to repress those things and made to feel like they were bad. And if I displayed any of those characteristics, I must be a bad person. But actually, by diving into the shadow and healing through those traumas, I'm realizing the part that these people were playing in my life and making me believe those things. By going through all that, I was able then to integrate those things back in. So rather than reacting to things and flying off the handle, because I've balanced it and integrated it, I can still kind of step up and stand up for myself and not be that doormat, but without kind of going into a neurotic mess, as sometimes can happen. So that's why it's really important, really, and that's why it's the magic of the moon. So apart from the tides that they govern or the menstrual flow, the moon also helps us with our healing. And the more you kind of come into your healing journey and progress on that spiritual path, you'll see that you'll kind of work within the cycle. Very much so. So the full moon is about releasing anything we want to release, and you may feel more emotional about around these times. It's important to look at what the moon is representing for that period. And if you join me on my memberships or in my temple, which I will be advertising soon, we will go through all these things together. But if I've lost my train of thought now. So yeah, the full moon is where we kind of release those things. And if you work with the astrology or what the moon is representing at that time, you'll kind of get more of an understanding of the things that you can kind of work on and let go. If anything else comes up, obviously don't avoid that, just work through it the best you can. But you will find that the main focus and the kind of things that are coming up for you will be based around the particular moon. So the next one coming up is the full moon in Scorpio. So that's about really diving into the shadow as well. Scorpio is ruled by Pluto, which is the underworld. So some of you may find that quite intense this next full moon. So the new moon is more about planting seeds for the month ahead or the coming months ahead, the things that we kind of want to bring into our lives after we've released these things with the full moon. So that's really a time to start working on focusing on the things you do want and try to change your mindset. We tend to before, especially before our awakening, we tend to focus on the things that we don't want to go wrong. But by doing that, you're actually putting energy into that, which is why 9 times out of 10 those things will manifest. So if you can learn to kind of train yourself to around the new moon to focus on the positive things that you want to bring in, really visualize into it, kind of feel it as though, how would you feel in that moment if it was really happening to you right now, these things that you envision that you want for your life. How would you feel and really allow those emotions to flow? You can do this in meditation or you can just sit quietly and just visualize. And that's how you kind of bring in then what you want moving forward. So the moon is really important in that sense of the cycle. You will also find your own inner rhythm within that cycle. So I find around the new moon, now as I've progressed further along my path, around the new moon, I'll focus more on ideas for work, my spiritual work, or more of my gifts will come online, and I'll be guided to different things like that. And I have a lot more motivation. I don't really have all the traumas and emotions and stuff to dig through because of, pardon me, I've been through a major part of that already. So the new moon for me has progressed into that. Now, going into the full moon, if there's still some aspects there that I need to heal, which there is, because there is for everyone, it's always ongoing, it's not as intense. It does really die down, once you kind of move through those core traumas, it will die down, but there will be some aspects that come up, and you just need to work through them and release them, and then think about the opposite of what you want to believe, of what you want to bring in after releasing these things, that whatever they are that come up, it might be you might still have a form of fear of being seen, or you might still have confidence issues, and there might be like a little thing that comes up that didn't seem so traumatic at the time, or maybe after the event it didn't seem to compared to other things in your life. But it's something that did play a part. It did obviously kind of form a story that you've been telling yourself. And so you'll be able to notice that and recognize it and then be able to let that go and then bring in the new story you want for yourself. So if it was, let's think of an example. Um, I can't be myself and put myself out there and laughing and stuff because I'll be put down by someone. Well, that might have happened in school or in your family environment. But the more that you can kind of let go of these toxic people in your life as well and start allowing your soul tribe to come in, which is what will happen on this journey, then the more you can see that that story is not true. That's only around people that aren't very nice, are toxic, and narcissistic, whatever it may be. Your soul tribe aren't going to treat you like that, and normal, just decent human beings aren't going to treat you like that. So you can kind of change that story in your head and bring in that new belief of not everyone does this, and I can keep away from people like that. And that's where your boundaries come in as well, which again we'll talk to about in other videos. So really, I just wanted to hop on today, really, and talk about that. My new healing temple, Priestess Healing Temple, will be opening its doors on the 12th of May. If you join now as a founding member, you will lock in the price for the duration of your membership, however long you decide to stay for. You can also, I also have memberships now on my YouTube channel, which you can join there. So this month, because the doors haven't officially, well, they have officially opened, you can join now if you want to, but we'll be starting the 12th of May to set intentions for this next coming full moon in Scorpio. So this month I'll probably do a how-to on that kind of thing. Um, and maybe an overall intention for the people that watch me that their intentions for this full moon do come true. But following on from that, if you decide you want to join the temple, which is on SeleneAlthea.com, you can click on the link at the top, Priestess Temple, sorry, and you can join there. Or you can join on the membership on my YouTube channel at Selene Althea. Um, I think it's at Selene Althea Healer now. I think I changed it. Um, so yeah, you can find me there and join the memberships. Then you can put your name down for future intention settings, and I will name you specifically. If you don't want your name mentioned on air, that's fine, but you will be in specifically in the intentions for that ritual, for your manifestations or whatever we're releasing, depending on the moon cycle, as I say. So if you think that would interest you, you can have a look at on those places, YouTube or the website. And yeah, it'd be good to see you in there. I can't wait to get going with it all. Um, it's been quite a long journey getting here, so I am quite pleased. And you might notice as well that we are nearly in that full moon now, and I don't want to talk too soon, but I don't seem to be like feeling as though I'm going backwards this month, as sometimes can happen. Because even me, like years along the path, sometimes things can come up that are so overwhelming that you do worry, like, oh, am I going backwards? Am I not healing? So it happens to the best of us. So I hope that helps anyway. I hope it all makes sense. And I shall see you all in the next video. Enjoy your day.